Hello and welcome everyone to another edition of the Daily 8 on the News 8 Live Desk. Phil Penarski here with the top 8 stories you need to know for your Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hopefully you're all having a great day so far. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin today's show, though, in Allegan County. That's where authorities are searching for a sex offender who cut off their tether and failed to show up for a bond hearing on Monday. Daniel Albert Lowe was convicted in 2019 for several sex crimes, including sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl while he was 21. There have been multiple appeals by Lowe and his team to afford him a new trial in the case, and was actually out on bond before failing to show up to his court appearance on Monday. A $1 million bond has since been issued, along with a warrant for Lowe's arrest to be brought back to justice. And Republican vice presidential candidate and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is in West Michigan today. Former President Donald Trump's running mate will be speaking at Apple Valley events located near Sparta, just a few days after Minnesota Governor and Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz made a campaign stop in Grand Rapids last week. Michigan remains one of the key battleground states for November's election, and our recent poll data from Emerson College and The Hill showed Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump in a statistical tie. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development has issued a consumer advisory for several cheeses manufactured here in Michigan and sold at local farmers markets. The products are from Hickory Knoll Farms Creamery. The advisory was sent out on Monday and said that 7 different kinds of goat cheeses and 15 different kinds of cow cheeses were held under, quote, insanitary conditions without adequate pasteurization or antibiotic testing. If you purchased any of these cheeses, you are recommended to dispose of them immediately, and we actually have a full list of all those cheeses that are part of that advisory, which you can find right now on woodtv.com. And Tech Week continues today as hundreds of people gather to hear from some big-name speakers on a variety of tech topics. One of the speakers includes Freakonomics co-author Stephen Dubner. He kicked off the festivities of Tech Week yesterday, touching on one of the major themes of the festival, of course, AI. There are more than 70 different events happening throughout Tech Week in Grand Rapids from now until the festival wraps up on Saturday. And September is National Family Meals Month, and to celebrate the importance of eating as a family, one substance abuse prevention resource is teaming up with several local pizzerias to hammer that point home. Talk Sooner is working with 6 local pizza shops to encourage families to sit down and enjoy a meal together, because research shows that eating together regularly reduces the chance of your child engaging in any risky behaviors like using drugs or alcohol. The pizzerias will be handing out promotional flyers along with all orders throughout the month, as well as some complimentary pizza cutters to a select few. And we're halfway through September, which means we are getting closer and closer to seeing those fall colors in our trees. It's one of the most beautiful times of the year. It marks the true start of fall for many, and people come from across the country to check them out. But here in West Michigan, it's been far from feeling like fall weather, and it's also been insanely dry recently. We haven't had many rainy days this month, and that could actually impact the colors that we do see later this month. But how much will they be impacted? Well, that's what Chief Meteorologist Ellen Baca tackles in this week's Ask Ellen, which you can find right now on woodtv.com. And speaking of the weather, let's get you a look at your forecast for today. Here's Storm Team 8 meteorologist Blake Harms.
Yet another rinse and repeat forecast. A beautiful day underway here in Allendale and across West Michigan. We're going to hang on to that sunshine through the afternoon as temperatures climb back into the mid-80s. So not quite as warm as it was yesterday, but still much warmer than average. Highs expected to climb to about the mid-80s across West Michigan, perhaps a few upper 70s up toward Ludington and Pentwater. Your 8-day forecast keeps us in the 80s through the rest of this week, but as we head into next week, we may start to see our first hint of a pattern change. A few chances for very light rain, with highs eventually dropping down to the 70s, which will still be above average for this time of year.
All right, thanks, Blake. And we end today's show with a call to action, actually. Wood TV 8 is your host for the lone Senate debate between former Representative Mike Rogers and Representative Alyssa Slotkin for Senator Debbie Stabenow's seat this November. The two will meet on the debate stage on October 8th with our very own Rick Albin moderating the debate. And while we will, of course, be focusing on an assortment of major topics, we also want your voice to be heard. We are taking question submissions from now until October 1st. So if you have a genuine question you want the candidates to discuss, you can send them in to us right now. Just head on over to our website and you can find the page to do just that. All right, well, that is going to end things for us today here on the Daily 8. We will be back again tomorrow with 8 more stories for your Wednesday, so hopefully we see you again then.